public record that this is not coming from, yes, a grant, this is being paid $4,000.
Yes,
So,
right.
Correct.
okay.
Okay.
All right, any further comments, questions? Discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, like sign. All right, so the award bid for ITB-05-2024 to Felkner Electric has been approved. Moving on to now item C.
Yes, item C, I'll read it by title only, City Council Resolution Number 2025-03. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Live Oak, Florida, accepting a bid from Felkner Electric, Inc. related to the installation of up to 34 light poles and fixtures on Heritage Trail within the City of Live Oak, Florida, providing for the award and execution of a contract which is attached to the resolution, and providing for an effective date.
All right. This does not need public hearing, correct? All right, what will be the pleasure of the council?
Offer motion for resolution 125-03.
Second.
All right, so we have a motion and a second to approve resolution 2025-03. Any comments, questions, or concern, or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, like signs. Resolution 2025-03 is passed. Moving on to item D.
Item D is City Council Resolution 2025-04, quick background. As the city's personal property becomes outdated, unusable, etc., it's declared surplus. If it's not salvageable, it's disposed of. If it's sellable, it'll be done at an appropriate auction. And so you have attached to the resolution the list that was provided by administration for the items of personal property that they have deemed to be in need of declaring surplus and disposed of. And so with Mr. President's permission, I'll read that by title only.
Yes, sir.
City Council Resolution Number 2025-04, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Live Oak, Florida, declaring certain personal property owned by the city to be either surplus to its needs and sold at a publicly noticed sale, or determined to be obsolete, non-serviceable, or beyond economic repair and appropriately discarded, providing for the authorization to remove such surplus property when sold or disposed of from the fixed assets of the city, and providing for an effective date.
All right, heard the resolution read. What will be the pleasure of the council?
I make a motion that we accept the resolution 2025-04.
We have a motion.
I'll second.
Second, any questions or discussion?
Mr. President, before we go any further, I want to commend County Commissioner Mr. Maurice Perkins, for that bringing that information for the CDC grant before us, with his hard work and due diligence, and he is the county commissioner of the majority of the city. I just want to thank him for his effort, along with Vanessa Robinson as well. So if y'all don't mind, let's take that.
Now back to the agenda. Any relative comments, questions, or concerns? You got problems. Alright, hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, like sign? Alright, 425-04 resolution is approved. Moving on to item E.
All right, discussion of possible council action for appointment of seat number 5 of the Planning and Zoning Board for the remaining portion of 3-year term starting August 2024 and ending in August 2027 based on applications received. Who's got the application?
Should be attached, if I'm correct, it's Mr. Beasley, Patricia Bennett, and Mr. Thomas. So pursuant to the policy, we would then give, if they are in attendance, we would give each of the applicants 3 minutes to address the council as to their qualifications and whatever other information they wanted to provide to the council.
Alright, we're going to go to alphabetical order. That work?
Yeah.
Fairways actors.
Alphabet.
Beasley's first.
All right, so that gives us who first? I'm sorry, I'll have
Kenneth
you.
Beasley.
Mr. Beasley. Yes, sir. You can come right here in the middle, one will be fine. Just state your name, then you get 3 minutes, sir.
Kenny Beasley, 1717 Northeast Davis Street, Glasgow, Florida. Thank the council for looking over the application. The reason why I choose that, doing the planning board, because we do take stuff work like that for the county sometimes. Like, matter of fact, today I did a project of County Road 137, where we had to put in some big pipes that caused a lot of flooding on that road, on the bridge. It's pretty tedious, but it worked. Keep flooding off the roads and everything. So, I say I do work with that kind of stuff to the county. So that's the reason why I put my application in.
Okay.
And thank you.
All right, thank you. Next.
Patricia Bennett.
Good evening. My name is Patricia Bennett. I like to be called Patty, though, please. I appreciate that I was able to submit my application for the board. I love the city of Live Oak. I've been here a really long time. My husband and I own Bennett's Glass Company. In fact, tomorrow we will be 53 years in business, so I'm really proud of that for his family. I really see the importance of bringing good, qualified businesses to our city, as that's what's going to keep us growing and keep us strong, most of all in taking care of our residents. So that was my reason for applying.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Mr. Cox.
Doesn't matter which one?
Yes. What is this?
My name is Adam Collins. I live at 206 Duval Street Northwest, Live Oak, Florida. I've been a resident of Live Oak my whole life, 43 long years, and just a short stint in Tallahassee to do some schooling, but I came back and started an engineering business in town, and it's been 8 years. I think I'm the only one. If there's anybody else, I don't know who they are. But it's a pleasure to serve the community. I take on jobs that I don't have time for all the time, just because somebody had a limb through their roof, because of a hurricane, and nobody else is going to look at it. But I want to serve the community. That's why I'm here. I love this town. I don't have anything against either of the other people doing it. I was asked by Mr. Davis to apply for it, and I've worked. I mean, my background is pretty long, extensive in engineering. I know a lot about zoning laws already. I've done subdivisions, roadways. I spent 4 years for the city of Tallahassee working on the Family Way Extension Road project. I mean, over 10,000 hours of work on it. I know the ins and outs of city and county government, so I'm ready to serve. If you want somebody else to do it, feel free to, but I'm offering myself up to serve the community. So the other thing I want to speak to is the flooding problem in Terra Trace. A gentleman, Mr. Hurd from Lane Lucas's office called. I haven't called him back. I've just been so busy with my workload. But just realizing, what it's causing, I'll take a look at it. I'll call him back. If he hasn't found somebody else to look at it, but I would suggest just looking at the capacity of the lift station and see if it could pump it out on a regular basis instead of some kind of system. I mean, I don't know if that's been looked at or if you have capacity records, but that would be my first look. Thank you.
Before you sit down, I have some questions I want to ask you. I didn't get a chance opportunity to talk to others beforehand. Looking at your app here, it says if there is a conflict of interest, if you were appointed to this zoning board. With you being an engineer, I'm quite sure there are different projects that come up in the city of Live Oak that you would have to recluse yourself from.
Yes.
The board only meets, about how many times? About 5 times a year. With you're saying you're very busy with your work and having to recluse yourself the possibility of those. How effective do you think that you're serving on the board you would be serving on this?
I don't foresee anything coming up, but to give full disclosure to the council, I put that on there. The likelihood of one of my clients doing a development in the city of Live Oak and it having to undergo a zoning change, I mean, maybe 1% chance. I mean, there's a small chance, but it's unlikely. Most of my work is done around the river, and I do the engineering for Elite Metal Buildings in town, so we do their statewide engineering services. It keeps me busy.
I think, sir.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Kennedy, we need to do a.
Hold on one
Can I
second.
entertain a motion? for-
Hold on 1 second. George, excuse me. As board member, is there information as if they missed so many meetings that it would be off the board? Is that?
There's something to that effect in the code. I don't have a copy of it in front of me. I didn't
There's
realize.
something in the code
So
for that?
I'd have to look it up and I could get Larry to get it to you.
No, make sure whoever we decide to get, that person will be the heed to what's going on.
Right, yeah, attendance at the meetings is really important because we need a quorum to have a vote, and a lot of times developers come in from out of town and we tell them, you know, we're gonna have a meeting, and if somebody travels 2 or 3 hours or gets on a plane and comes here, and then, you know, we can't get a quorum, that's embarrassing, and it's a travesty for the developer. Thankfully, that doesn't happen and hasn't happened in a long time, but that's something that attendance at the meetings is that's why it's so important, so we can do our business and move things forward. So.
Okay.
And who will this person be replacing? I remember the name.
Ms. Hatfield,
Who-
is that correct?
Is it?
Yeah, Ms. Hatfield resigned. She came up for reappointment. She decided not to put in for it.
And so how many, and I'm sorry about these questions right here, how many people are on the board? The board consists of what?
So there's 7 members,
Seven
seats.
7 seats.
Right,
And they all are filled right now except that one particular
Yes,
seat.
that's
Right
correct.
there, and so that Ms. Hatfield is leaving from that position.
right. She had left the middle of last year, so we've had a vacancy for that long, since August.
Yes, sir, no, you're good. All right, so,
So is it that you?
At point 4, someone wants to make a motion to have someone appointed, and we follow the motion second vote procedure.
I make a motion for Miss Patty Bennett to serve in that vacant seat, seat 5.
we have a motion and a second.
How do we go
Ms.
about
Patty
that?
Bennett, so any further questions, comments, concerns, or discussion before
How do
we?
we go about the other 2 nominees?
Well, if this motion passes, then Ms. Bennett would be appointed. If this motion fails, the board can entertain additional motions.
Okay.
Do a roll call?
Yes.
Next turn.
David Alford, no.
Gladys Owens, yes.
Vanessa Robinson, Brown Robinson, yes.
Councilman Jefferson, no.
And Councilman Campbell, no. All right, so motion falls 3-2. No? Do we have a new motion on the table?
Offer motion that Mr. Kenny Beasley be appointed to this board.
Have a motion, do we have a second? Hearing no second, the motion falls on the table. Do we have another motion?
Offer motion for Adam Collins.
So a motion on the floor for Mr. Collins. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. Motion and a second for Mr. Collins. Any discussion, comments, concerns, questions?
Well, I have the concern, as I questioned you before, and about the conflict of interest, and about his schedule as compared as to when that he would be able to attend, and also about the possibility of projects that may come up that may be a conflict of interest that he has here in the city. I believe maybe a couple of months ago, or there was a project that I believe that he was, I'm trying to do my homework here.
I haven't done any projects in years.
That he spoke on. With,
I spoke on a project, yes.
when he was doing the annexation of the city. And so, therefore, I do have concerns regarding that.
And just from a legal standpoint, my recollection is he wasn't involved in the engineering aspect. That was Jones, Mr. Jones.
That's correct. I was involved in nothing as a concerned citizen. That's
His
the only thing.
concerns were as a citizen, so
Yeah.
that would not have been, he had no other financial interest in that project. That would not have created a conflict of interest for him.
Yeah, it was owned by my family, and I didn't want him to develop it. My cousins.
So that may come up again.
No, it won't. Not something like that. That was very unique. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
So-
let's leave the
We have,
discussion
yeah,
to
we
the
have.
can to the council.
Yeah.
So it's,
So, but those are concerns that I have about choosing Mr. Collins. I think all three are great candidates here that have put their names in the hat to do this, but I also am concerned about the things that may affect the planning and zoning board of getting things done and getting things done fairly. And I want to take that word back, fairly. Take that back. But
Am I going to be able to respond to this today? Just
No,
curious.
it's up to the council now
Okay.
in the discussion aspect.
so the concerns are concerned in that, yes, sir? All right. I'll do another roll call vote.
David Alford, yes.
No.
no.
Yes. Wait a second.
And I will vote yes. So Mr. Collins will be appointed for 3-2 vote. All right. And thank you though to all three for offering your services. It's a volunteer and almost, sometimes you might want to say thankless job. It's kind of, you have to have
Servant heart.
kind of introspective rewards, intrinsic rewards. That's the kind of verbiage I would use, is an intrinsically motivated position. We do appreciate everybody's willingness for sure. All right, moving on now to item F.
Item F is second reading, second final reading of ordinance 1528, so we need to open a public hearing.
All right. So at this time, public hearing is open.
And it may be helpful, if I may, we had a first reading.
Let's read it again then.
There was questions and concerns.
Yes, sir.
Staff went back to address those, and for the sake of the public, we have provided council with the red line version, and so it's easier to tell you what we changed. So if you look at section 34-30, it's under Appendix A, Live Oak Fee Schedule. Originally, on first reading, it read residential garbage collection service. The modification or revision, it now reads residential and commercial garbage collection service. So we went ahead and made it plain that it applied to both. On the next page, under section 3 of that same section 34-30, staff changed $15 for an additional can pickup to $7.50. So cut that number in half. And those were the two changes that have been made from the first reading version of ordinance number 1528.
All right.
And to start the public hearing, I'll go ahead and read it by ordinance so that the record is clear as to what is being addressed. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Live Oak, Florida, adjusting utility rates as provided in Chapter 34, Article 1 and 2, solid waste collection and disposal of the Code of Ordinances, providing for conflict and severability, providing for codification, and providing an effective date.
Okay, and now at this point, public hearing time has been open. Seeing and hearing none, we will close public hearing time at this point.
Are you, just to make sure that they understand it out there, is the public, this is the time for the public wants to speak on this?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, this is the time that if you want to speak on any issue about the trash cans, this is your time.
Trash can time. Ordinance
Hi,
1529.
Shanice Brown, again, a resident of the city of Live Oak. I got up here earlier and spoke my preface of everything. I'm just gonna reiterate a little bit of it, just in case someone came in late or you all weren't paying attention. So I had some issues with this because you are increasing the cost during a time where everything is already inflated. You're putting it onto the residents to absorb this cost. You're not creating any other source of money from what you all have to take this on. And from what I understand, the reasoning of this change is to maybe adapt to what's new. But I've had what's new because I was living in Miami, Florida, as I mentioned before. I'm gonna get into a little bit more details. Now, if you have a claw type garbage machine coming to pick up the trash, sometimes if it's not closed completely, you're gonna be responsible for cleaning up whatever debris is left behind. Now, there's elderly people in the community that are not gonna be able to get out there and pick up their own trash. Ms. Owens came up here and Ms. Williams came up here earlier to address it as well, saying that some people can't lug that big 96-gallon or whatever you all plan on purchasing out to the road. It can be heavy, especially when filled, and especially when you all only come one time a week. It needs to be moved to multiple times, at least twice. This isn't 1997. You order something from Amazon, you go to Walmart, anything you buy comes in a package, that comes in a package, that comes in a package. We have trash. Doesn't matter what size of your household. Most of the